Testing 1, 2. All right. Uh, Testing 1, 2. Hi guys, Donnie Rouse here, and today I am going to give you a formula, a magic formula to receive anything it is that you want in life. And you're like, come on, Donnie, bullshit. Anything I want in life? Yes, anything in 3 easy steps. So let's dive into these steps. But I want to tell you exactly how I came about these steps. And for the past, I don't even know how many years, the biggest desire has been to how do I live the most passionate and purposeful, fulfilling life possible? And in that desire is led me down to just kind of just reconnecting with what it is that I really want. It's so easy to get caught up in the outside world as to what you're supposed to want and getting stuck into comparison. And I want you to remember this. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison will rob you of your joy because now all of a sudden you're choosing goals, you're choosing things that aren't even aligned with you, aren't even really desires of yours. So whenever you bring some consciousness in and you see that you're comparing or you're going after something because you see someone else has something and you're identifying that as a sign of success, I want you to stop yourself right there. Hit that pause button. So let's go on to those 3 steps. So the first step it may sound super simple, but as simple as it is, it's often complex because people don't ask the important question. 1, what is it that you want? Right? We get these little blips of desire, like, oh, I want that. Oh, I want that. And as a result, you're jumping around to so many things without deciding on the one thing that you were going to put your time and attention towards. Number 2, what is it that has to be done? Right? You've identified a goal. You know by the time you want it, like, what do you have to do? What are the action steps in order to make the vision the way you see it in your mind? And number 3, go out, work the plan. I'm going to tell you a story. So this story was actually this past weekend. Went to karaoke. A friend of mine was at karaoke night. He said, "Hey, come on down. I'm down here. Stop on for a song." Not really sure. I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing all this work. I don't really want to. I was in a groove of wanting to do work, and then sometimes I feel like being in that spot can be not a dangerous place. Is that you become so focused on one thing that you often overlook all the other aspects of your life. And I guess life is always this, like, there's always a counterbalance. I like to refer to it as like the pendulum. When the pendulum swings one way, when you're too extreme on something, all of a sudden the pendulum will swing back the other way to try to strike a balance. So this pendulum's always going back and forth. But having some new objectives, some new goals that I had for my life and for my Rouse Coffee, as well as for the One Life Blueprint, I was just 100% focused on attaining these goals and not just I wasn't forcing myself to do it. It was a pull rather than a push. Like, I was feeling pulled in the direction to do this work. But knowing that you need to have this balance, I was like, all right, you know what? Let me just get out there. I know I have to go out and have to just enjoy myself a little bit. Otherwise, what the hell's the point, right? I mean, I enjoy the process, but I need to have a little bit of fun too. I need to release some steam. So I decided I went out to the karaoke and my friend was performing. Dom was performing. He was sitting there and it was actually great. I walked in, I was like, wow, this guy's really good. Who is this singing? And he was up there on the stage singing. I don't recall the song, but it was really nice. And so I was feeling the bar was packed, right? I hadn't seen the bar this busy in a very long time. So I was like, oh my God, I got to go in here now and I got to sing in front of all these people. I never have that fear, but seeing that the bar was packed and I was in a place where, I guess people know me when I travel. It's like, all right, I'll jump on stage in front of 1,000 people. It doesn't affect me. For some reason, I was feeling it this time. And having just acquired this new understanding, like a new understanding, I say it's not like I didn't know that you have to get clarity in your goals and you have to know, let your vision dictate what steps you have to take. Like, I knew that, right? But something happened recently where I just something clicked and it made more sense to me. So I said, okay, what is my outcome here, right? I don't want to just go out there and sing, because when I was looking at prior recordings of me performing Mr. Brightside by the Killers, I would go up there and I would sing, and sometimes I'd look all stiff, and I just felt like I was awkward, right? It's not some self-judgment there, but I noticed that, and I noticed it, and I was like, you know what? How do I want to sing this song? How do I want other people to feel the song? I said, I want people like getting into it. I want the crowd like rocking. I was like, all right, well, if that is my outcome, and I also want to, change my physiology, be a little bit more fluid when I'm on stage, what do I have to do? And now it's not going to make as much sense as I'm explaining it here, but in my mind, I had this reel going of me being more fluid, engaging the crowd, because, right, like, when you're in a concert, what's more fun? Like, you could have someone just performing on stage, but when they're engaging the crowd, and all of a sudden you become part of the show. So that became a part of my vision. So I had this vision, and I knew the vision was to engage the crowd, have a good time, to be more fluid. And then it was like, well, how do I make that happen? So I visualized, I was imagining myself working the stage, getting the crowd involved by putting my microphone, having other people sing the chorus line. And so I had like what did I need to do? And then the last thing was just to go out there and do it. So I went up there, I put the song in, because before I was hesitant, right? I was like, I don't know if I want to sing. I'm not really nervous. I'm not really ready. I'm feeling a little nervous. Too many people here. But once I had that clarity, once I knew the vision that I wanted, how I wanted to affect the crowd, all of a sudden I was like, let me go up there. Hey, yeah, I want to sing this song. Can you please put that in? And then I just waited for it to come up. And it just gave me a sense of certainty as that song came up. It gave me a sense of certainty that I would get that result. As it was called up there, I was performing the song. Everyone was getting into it. After the song, everyone was giving me high fives, saying, oh, awesome job. And I tell you this because I knew what the result I wanted. I created the action plan in my mind, because the result was immediate, right? I needed to sing within the next half an hour. So I needed to have access to that. But let's bring it back to your life. Like, how does that relate to some of your bigger goals and desires? We can compare it to a trip, all right? Let's say a trip. Like, what do you want to experience? Like, think about something you want to experience in the year. It could be a goal, work-related, but let's make it a desire. Let's make it something that's going to give you an experience that you'll never forget in life. Get clear about that. Like, what is it that you want? How do you want to feel? And then after you have that vision, now let's look at what is it that you would have to do. What are the action steps, right? Well, if you were to make this vision a reality, like, how would you have to show up daily? What kind of information would you have to obtain? What kind of people would you have to talk to? What kind of friends? You know what I'm getting at, right? You start to make your life revolve around this vision. And then there's just like, after you have that, just actioning the plan. I'll give you one more example, because it's literally happened I've had 55 or 56 countries so far. And every single time I've gone on a trip, I've done this same process without even knowing it. Because I'll be going on a trip, and I'll pick something, right? There's always something about a country that usually pulls me in, and usually it's coffee related, because I'm like, oh, they have a really cool coffee drink I want to try. I've never heard about someone putting gummy bears in coffee. I'm making that up. I don't know if they do. Maybe they do it somewhere, but something pulls me in. And then as a result of that, it's just like this string that just keeps coming, and I'm just getting more and more inspired by it. And I know from prior experiences that I'm imagining the people I meet. Like, this whole thing is just playing out in my mind and building as I'm getting closer to that date. And without even really, I've done it so many times, but that the whole process is practically on autopilot. I go there, I meet people, and it just happens automatically. It's because I have a pathway to achieving the result that I want. And then it's just a matter of acting out that plan. So going back to it, like, what is it that you want? Now, you may be you maybe you're saying like, hey, that sounds so easy, Donnie. Like, oh, what makes you, I've tried and it didn't happen. Um, What makes it look so easy? Well, it's okay, right? Sometimes we go towards a goal or we go towards a desire when we don't get it. But aren't you a lot further off and better for having made that objective clear and having taken the action steps, right? It sure beats standing in one place, right? It sure beats sitting there twiddling your thumbs on the fence and wondering what if. And listen, let's be real with ourselves. Sometimes you're gonna set goals and you're not gonna meet them. But who said that they have to happen within a time frame, right? Like the time frame is there to inform us of the actions we need to take. If there are things outside of our control, like say we did everything within our control and it didn't happen by the desired plan, fine. Extend your plan out, right? Who's judging you? It's not about, it's not about the end goal, really. It's about who you become in the process. Although like I'm always looking at I want the experience. But look at who you've become in the past. Like just what I've told you now is this process that I've been going through about how to live the most passionate version of my life. And as I've been applying this new way of thinking just literally has been creeping into every area of my life. And it's because that I'm on this journey. It's because that I'm on this path. And so while I may not get all the desires that I want or that I'm going for yet, but it still helps with the mindset of it. So it's not a failure. It's only a failure if you give up. There's a quote that I have literally on the board to my right that you can't see out of your sight. It says, winners never quit, quitters never win. If the goal is that important to you, don't give up. Keep going towards it. So I want you to journal. Let's just, make a mental note. Like, what is a goal that you've had that maybe you're going towards it, you didn't achieve it, and you realize that, you know what? Maybe you gave it up. But I want you to look at those three levels. Like, one, how clear were you on that goal that you wanted? Were you clear? And secondly, did you have an action plan? If you're not clear on it, then chances are you don't have an action plan, right? Because that clarity gives you the plan. It gives you the strategy and informs you of the actions to take next. And then lastly, how big of a step did you take, right? Did you want to inspire millions of people, but you recorded one post for Instagram and you didn't even post it. You just kind of kept it in your phone photo library because you were nervous about putting it on. Like, be honest with yourself because there's power in honesty. And then your homework for today. I'm going to give you some homework. Pick something that lights you up. Pick a desire, a project, something, anything that you're like, you know what? I didn't make time for this, but it would really excite me if I were to start moving towards this direction. Next, I want you to just start to think about like what would life be like if this was my reality? Pick something that's close in the time frame, right? Don't pick something that's so far out that you're going to be so that you're going to feel detached. Pick something that you want within the next year or two. And then just visualize what it would be like to have that, how it would change your experience of life to have the result you want. And again, setting that time frame, say 2 years out. Next, what would you have to do in order to make this your reality? Maybe it's, what resources would you have to acquire? Who would you have to get to coach you? Build up this list. And then lastly, action it. Just take the first step. You don't have to, there's only at any given point, there's only a finite number of steps you can take in a direction towards your goals. Pick one. It's going to inform the actions you take after that. And that is, that's been the journey that I've been on lately. I've been, the level of fulfillment I've been getting from my work, both in my coffee and doing the One Life, has been through the roof lately. And it's because I've been accessing a different part of myself. I've been holding myself accountable. And as a result of taking the actions that I've committed to, even when it's not comfortable, all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I am working out this muscle. I'm changing the way I'm showing up to my life and the results that is going to have, maybe not in the short term, right? Because results take time for them to compound and for you to see where you've moved. But I know that in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, I am going to be in a very different place. So I am very grateful for this year. This year has already been an amazing, 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 amazing year. And I wish the same for you guys. I want you to choose goals that are meaningful for you. And I want you to stretch yourself so that you can become more, because by becoming more, you inspire those around you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode here. Kind of coming on here just because I have these different things I want to share with you that I feel like will make your life much, much better this year, or improve the quality of your life this year, because we are still literally in the first month. You got, I said 9. We have 11 months left in this year. And if you don't get going until month 6, who the hell cares? You get to decide when your year starts, or when you want to start afresh, or who you get to be in that next chapter of your life. So that is all I've got for you guys today. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a comment. It helps tremendously. Plus, it makes me feel good because I know that the words that I am saying are falling on ears that are inspired, and it's having an effect. That's all I want to do. I want to be here to help you live the best version of your life. So if I can do that, that means the world to me. I just got to know it's doing, that I'm having that effect. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them to me via my website at www.donnyrouse.com, DONNYRAUS.com. That is all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, again, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. Remember, you only get one life. Live fully, live passionately, and most of all, live now. God bless you guys, and I will see you again soon.